and I'm here to talk to you today about how to enhance your interview skills and get the job you want. Are you interested in that? Of course you are, or you wouldn't be listening to me right now. Let's talk about preparing for the interview. How do we do that? It's very, very important when you're preparing for an interview to know who you are, to believe in your skills and your talents and your abilities without question, because no one else knows exactly what you can do but you. You're completely and totally unique, not like anyone else on planet Earth. In fact, if a prospect is looking for an employee and say they interview 100 people, 99 of those people are going to be completely different from you in every way. You alone are unique. So you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to be able to articulate your skills, talents, and abilities in order to convey your worth to that prospect. I want to show you how to write a killer resume, and I'm not teaching on that particularly today, although I could. But I want to give you some really amazing resources that you can use to write a killer resume, because that's going to say everything that you want it to say to that prospective employee. And sometimes that's all they'll see is the resume that you send in. They won't actually meet you for some time later. So when you put your best foot forward with your resume, then you're a step ahead of the game already. So here's your resources. www.freeresumetemplates.com is an amazing resource for you. Go online to that particular website and you will find everything you could possibly need to write a resume that will help you get that job that you want. There's actual samples. There's samples of resumes in different categories of jobs that you may be interested in. So this is a site that's invaluable for you. PongoResume.com is an occupational template that it offers you for your specific job interest. And howtowritearesume.net for complete instructions and help cannot be beat. You can go there and it will give you everything that you need step by step for how to write a resume that's going to impress a potential employer. Very, very important for you to know. Research your prospect. Incredibly important. Nothing will impress a potential employer more than someone who knows what that company is all about. Someone who's done their homework and they're in there and they're knowledgeable. That impresses a potential employer so very much. So let's talk about that. You've got to go to the company website. I mean, websites are always, most websites are listed in the one ad paragraph. If you see a one ad for the job that you're interested in, you're going to see their website. So go directly to that website and check it out. Look at the company, see what it's about, see what they have to offer. Make sure that you do that. Business blogs are incredible. Online job networking resources sites like Monster, Brightstar, and a variety of other online career networking websites can help you get in touch with other networkers and specific companies with college affiliations or certain geographic areas. Discussion forums can't be beat, and you can find all of these things online. You can learn more about a company, more about a job that way than in any other way. Business blogs can provide a voice for a company that educates and informs website visitors. So you want to go to those business blogs, and sites like Google Blog, companies use those sites to inform people about their company. And when you go into those blogs particularly, you're going to find out things from existing employees and maybe ex-employees that a company may not want you to know about their particular culture. There are things that you can find out from the blogs that will teach you what kind of situation you're going to find yourself in a company even before you were to be hired. So you may do this research. You may go to discussion forums and blogs directors, and you may find that this is not what you want at all. You thought this was your optimum choice, but after you read about the company and you find out what really goes on in their culture, you may think this is just not for you at all. So an informed person is a powerful person. So you want to know exactly what you're dealing with. The more you know, the better your chances are of getting the job that you really want. Let's put your best foot forward in attitude and appearance. In my 20-plus years in the industry doing television and radio and print work, I learned a lot about how to present myself, how to look my best in any given situation, because every time I went to do a job, I had to interview for that job with the prospective client and with the photographer. And every time I tried to do that, I always would want to find out what they're looking for and accompany my look to what exactly they need and want. Well, you want to do that anytime you go into a corporate situation, and different companies are different. You might have a casual business attire, you might have a very professional business attire, but you want to check that out and find out about how they dress. You might even go over and visit them. You might go and just walk into the offices and just see how people are putting themselves together in that company, because that will give you a heads up and a foot up on how you want to look when you go in for an interview. And you want to kick it up a notch always when you do that anyway. But let's talk about it. Expensive clothes are simply not needed when you're going to go for an interview. Some people think they just need to go out and spend a ton of money purchasing clothing and shoes and the whole deal so that they look like they just stepped out of a magazine. But the truth of the matter is, you can go to TJ Maxx, Marshalls, any number, JCPenney, and find a great suit, a great dress, a great pair of slacks, a great blouse, shoes, anything that you need, and you can do it on a budget. I promise you, you can save a lot of money and still look so great. Here's the most important thing. You've got to have clean, pressed clothes, and they must fit well. Don't go in and slouchy things that don't fit. They're too loose, they're too baggy, or they're too tight, girls. You want to have a classy and elegant, professional look, because that's what they're looking at you for. The first impression is the most important impression that you're going to make. When you walk through that door, they're going to look at you. They're going to look at the way you're dressed. They're going to look at your shoes. I love shoes, so. But people are always going to look at that, and they're going to see if your toes are scuffed or your heels are scuffed. And nothing is worse than when someone is walking across a hard tile floor and they are missing a tab on their heel and it clicks insanely. Just get it fixed. You just don't want to deal with that. Here's some really bad examples of how you don't want to look when you go in for an interview. A little crazy, but if you walk in and you're one of these people who happen to be very artistic, and believe me, I am, so I can appreciate that. But if you're going in with crazy hair and tattoos and piercings, well, you're going to offset people. And here's what your potential prospect, your employer, is going to think. Why does that person require so much attention? That's exactly what they're going to think about you. They're going to wonder why you have to have all these things to draw attention to yourself. Because as a company player, you got to be a team player. It's important to remember. Hands are really important. Have you ever seen 5-inch nails on some gals that have the rhinestones and the rainbow polish? And it's great if you're going into an interview at a nail salon. I love that. But rock on if that suits you. But if you're going into a corporate setting, you definitely don't want to do that. You want to keep your hands very well manicured, well groomed. You want to do a neutral polish that doesn't draw too much attention to you. And you want to make sure that, especially guys, listen to me now, get some Vaseline at Walgreens and put that on your cuticles at night, because it will make your hands look so much better than ratty and nasty, because people will definitely look at your hands. You're sitting right across the desk from somebody. You're not 3 feet away from them. You've got your hands crossed. So they're looking at your hands and they're not attractive. And I'm sorry, but when you have an interview situation and someone's checking you out from head to toe, they're not just listening to what you have to say. They're actually looking at you to see if you care about how you present.